If you have not already done so, please check out part 1 of my interview with Azul. Link in the description below. So, has there ever been a pet card that you really wanted to work in a deck, but you just couldn't? So, I think the obvious example for fans of you is like Dan, but like another example.
Well, most recently there was Orbital VMAX,
Oh, okay.
which by itself is a deck, but it's not very good. And I think it's better as a partner. Where it best fits in that realm of what is the best partner to partner with it, I'm not sure yet, and there might not be a great partner for it. But Orbital VMAX is a card that I was super excited for when I first read it because the ability is something I had like thought about of existing on a card before. That's why I was so excited for Orbital because I was like, it'd be really cool if there was a Pokemon that while it's in your active, it does 10 damage to everything. Like I've thought of that card before, not the exact attack, but like the ability on Orbital. I was like, I've thought of that, and I've even talked about people with it before. Like, what if there was an ability you just did 10 to everything when it was in the active? So I was like super excited for Orbital. Reading the card, I knew it probably wouldn't be too ridiculously good, and it didn't end up. It didn't end up being too ridiculously good, but yeah, it would definitely be the Orbital VMAX.
Back in the day in Magic the Gathering, there used to be this tournament. It was an invitational where the top players would play, and the winner would get to make their own card. So if there was something like that in Pokemon, I'm sure you'd be down to play in that tournament. But what card would you make? I mean, I'm not talking about like the exact text, but like just like some idea maybe of like a card you'd like to make.
Um, Definitely something that interacts with your opponent's turn. I think that well, now that I've already like gone off on
Mhm.
that a little bit, something to just like prevent your opponent from doing things. Because those cards I've always enjoyed, I guess, like playing like cards that prevent your opponent from doing things. Not to the point of like a control deck, but like Garbotox and Garbodor is a good example of that. Where while I was in play with the tool, your opponent's abilities weren't. Your opponent couldn't use abilities, right? So like stuff like that. I've always enjoyed playing cards like that. Limiting your opponent generally gives you more control over the game, which is generally better for winning games, limiting what your opponent can do. So something that would definitely limit my opponent, whether it be, an item card that says your opponent can't use an item card. Like it's just like your opponent uses an item card, you can play an item card that says your opponent can't use that item card, or you have to play like two of those, or you have to play it and discard two cards from your hand, and your opponent can't play the item card they just use. Something like that. Something to limit your opponent's, um, give you some kind of control over the game in like a unique way that kind of hasn't been seen or done before in Pokemon.
Okay. And just quick question: is when you play Magic, do you play blue or no?
the So I don't play Magic very often. I played in like a
Okay.
couple drafts. I The last time I played Magic was it was some all I know is there's like qualifiers for qualifiers for qualifiers for
Mhm.
qualifiers, and it was like one of the local like low level qualifiers. I played it was something with I can't remember. It was a red deck or mostly
Okay.
red, and it was something with ships. Like you could like load your dudes into ships, and
Oh yes, yes. Okay.
but I forget
Yeah,
the
I
name
can't
of the
remember
deck.
it.
But yeah, it was like red something. But no. Generally, yeah, I don't really have a preference. I haven't played enough Magic to really have a preference yet of color.
Oh, okay, because just what you're saying, like countering what your opponent does, that's kind of what the blue color
Yeah,
represents in Magic, right? You can counter spells before they even like come into play, kind of thing. So
yeah.
I was just wondering. All right, so on the tag team podcast, you kind of mentioned I forget what game you were talking about. You said you didn't really want to get into a game because you knew you had to invest a lot of time to get good at it. Not to say that you don't want to invest time, rather you don't feel like you want to do something like kind of like half-ass.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like a mentality you've had all your life? Like when in regards to your hobby, you're like, I'm not gonna do this unless I'm gonna be like putting my heart into it, kind of thing.
Yeah, because I generally like to like try and like I guess it's like the competitiveness in me want to
Hmm.
be better at something if I can. I haven't done that in like everything, but like like Halo. Like I took a Halo one when I played that I took that very seriously, and then it's always been like stuff it has like if I enjoy doing it, I want to try and do it well, basically. And if I and I don't want to do it less than well. I mean, there are like little things like I'm not super try hard at like completely everything. If it's like we're playing, Yahtzee or something,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna take that super try hard. But like League of Legends was a game that I played super seriously for a long time when I first got into the game years ago now. Um, and like I didn't like play any other video game because I just wanted to be really good at League of Legends. And I did okay, and I could have gone further. I think in that it's always one of my I don't want to call it a regret, but I feel like I definitely could have gone further in League of Legends had I taken it a little bit more seriously back when I was younger. This is like 7 years ago now or whatever. But yeah, I generally, if I'm gonna like commit time to something, I like to try and do it well or try and go to the next level in it. Push myself to get to that next level because there's so much more to everything if you try that much harder at it. That like if I enjoy doing something, I want to see what else is out there, and if you don't, try and become better at it or if dive deeper into whatever it is, you're missing out on so much to potentially enjoy from that thing or whatever that thing might be.
Yeah, and I think you just don't get the most out of things
Yeah,
if you're just kind of, going at it half speed. So, all
exactly.
right. So, what impact do you want to have on the game? So, when you decide I'm retiring from the competitive Pokemon scene, what's the impact you'd like to have? And you can also just in life in general, but you can focus just on Pokemon if you'd like.
Um, and that's a tough question. I don't really know. In life in general, hopefully, just leaving the world a better place because I definitely believe in the um like you can be all out for yourself throughout your whole life, but I think like we want to leave the world in a better place for the next generation and so on. So hopefully, even if it's unseen, I don't need anyone else to see it, but hopefully, I leave the world in a better place for the next generation of human beings out there, and they can have even if it's something super small, like I planted a tree. Like
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, but something I do in my lifetime makes the world that much better for the people to come. In Pokemon, um, man, I don't know. Hopefully, just making it so that people enjoy playing the game. Like, I know a lot of people come into my stream or watch my videos and they say, like, I'm the reason that they got back into the game or started playing the game and to begin with. So hopefully, as much of that as possible, just getting people into the game and playing the game because it's um, a great community of people for the most part. There's always going to be some, bad apples, no matter where you go. But um, in comparison to what else goes on in life, the Pokemon community is a pretty great place in general. So getting more people involved and into that and enjoying the game is would be enough for me.
As one of your viewers, I definitely feel like when I'm watching you, whether it be in your videos or on your stream, you're just like having a lot of fun with the game. And I think that's key to one, get people on board,
Yeah.
but just, you're not taking it too seriously.
Yeah, I try not to. I try not to. So in tournaments, in like the online tournaments and stuff, when I play in
Mm,
those, I'll go or try and go the extra level because I
yeah.
do want to like give off some level of, I am pretty good at the game, so I should try and play up to a certain standard as much as I can. But yeah, I misplay pretty often, just like everyone else. I try not to take it too hard or too seriously.
So, is there one moment where it kind of like clicked in your head, and you said to yourself, "Man, I'm actually really good at this game." Where maybe it was like a tournament win, or just you figured out, "Wow, I'm like much better than the average player," kind of thing.
Um, come up with a I know for myself personally, I had a moment where I was like, I'm good at getting good at stuff.
Okay.
So I had that moment with myself once, and I was like, if I apply myself, I know I can just be better at it. And it's like I think when I won that tournament that I mentioned, where I went down to
Yes.
Florida, and I won that tournament, where I was like, all right, I can like I feel like if I can put my ideas into this game and my thought into this game, and I can make decks that are good enough to win tournaments. Because that was a big tournament. I think it was the biggest regional at that time. And like every regional that year was the biggest regional that year. The game blew up that year really big. So I was like, all right, so I mean I can compete with like anyone on that level. So I'm at least decent. So I'm gonna try and play as much as I can this year. That's like I went to as many regionals and stuff that I could that year, and played as much as I could. Um, but I don't know. I feel like I never really. I guess. I mean, that might have been that moment for me. Then is where I was like, all right, I'm actually like good at this game. I'm good at the
Mm.
game. But like I always knew if like I wanted to be good at something that I enjoy doing, like I could be. Like I've always kind of known that about myself. Like if I apply myself, then I can be good at like whatever I want to be good at. I've always felt so. Yeah, I always felt that I've been just like good at getting good at stuff. And it's just really whatever I've wanted to apply myself. But I guess that would be the moment where I was like, all right, I guess I'm kind of already there, and I just didn't realize it until I won that tournament.
Okay. So, in regards to playing online versus playing in paper, do you have really a preference? I know you mentioned in the past you used to play test with a group pretty hard several years ago, but then your testing kind of shifted towards online. But do you actually have a preference out of the two?
It's I mean, it's almost like playing in real life is definitely more enjoyable overall, I think,
Okay.
no matter what.
Mhm.
I don't hate playing online. One of the biggest things with like playing Pokemon online though is like the client isn't great
Yes.
in comparison to what else is out there. So that's like the biggest thing is like if the client was that much better, it would be that much more enjoyable. But it's not there yet. Who knows if it will ever get there, but so playing in real life is always definitely feels better, especially at this point where we've been playing online for so long now, and we're kind of limited, right? We don't even have a choice. Otherwise, before like, I mean, I would like still be play even when I was playing in real life events and stuff. I'd still be playing online for streaming and creating content and so on. But I do testing online too, and it wouldn't feel as much of a drag to test online as it currently does now because you'd also get to go play in real life
Mhm.
too. But now it's kind of just like you're only doing online, and everything doesn't feel as it feels worse to almost play online, like play test online more so than anything. Just because you can't go to a local tournament on the weekend and play in real life
Mhm.
too. It feels good to like play with the actual cards, which I haven't done in a while. So yeah,
Yeah, there's nothing quite like shuffling a deck.
yeah,
As annoying as it is, but as a card player or a TCG player, everyone knows you put a deck in a TCG player's hands, they'll like automatically shuffle it. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they'll just shuffle the cards. Something really just that feeling. Where do you see or where would you like to see the game go in the next few years?
I mean, it's hard to say. Next few years, especially with COVID and everything. So next few years,
Like assuming it
who
gets
knows?
better.
Yeah. So assuming it gets better, then I mean, keep growing. Like I feel like there has been a decent amount of growth even in the game, even with COVID happening, especially with all these big like influencers and
Yes.
personalities just getting into the game in general. There's gonna be more people just wanting to play the game. I think the biggest thing that could ever happen to Pokemon and could be huge for Pokemon is if a new client came out um, because I think the amount of growth that could come from that could be insane. Because I mean, it's the biggest brand in the world is Pokemon, right? Everyone knows
Mhm.
Pokemon, and there's just so much potential exposure for games through like people playing. Like if a new Pokemon client came out, you'd have people like Disguised Toast or Dog or like all these big
Mhm.
strategy um, content creators, right? They would all
Yes.
why wouldn't they play the new cool card game, right? So I mean it's not new, but like if the a new client came out and it was marketed well and advertised well, there's no reason these kind of huge content creators wouldn't pick it up and play it, right?
Yes.
Like they play everything. They play every new game that comes out. So I think it could be huge if they re-released a new Pokemon client. I think that'd be the biggest step for the longevity of the game. But without something like that, I mean, I don't know how much longer it will actually last. Like the online aspect of the game, I mean, with the current client, I feel like can't go on forever the way it is.
Mhm.
For sure. I don't know how many years are left. And the IRL portion of the game, I mean, IRL stuff in general, I mean, inevitably become less. I don't know if in my lifetime or our lifetimes it'll become extinct, but that's
Mhm.
kind of everything will eventually probably become digital and stuff, right? Just kind of the way the world goes. I feel like in the eventual future, I don't know how far out that is. That might be way further than I think it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't see it getting like, I feel like it needs, like, another big push or something from something like a new client release like that online or something to really give more life back into the game. Like, Pokemon Go gave a ton of life into the game
Mhm.
when Pokemon Go came out. And we've kind of, like, peaked, and now we're kind of I feels like we're, like, what's the right term? Where it's kinda, like, leveling off. That's kind of the point where we're at, like, in the terms of, like, IRL numbers
Okay.
for regionals and stuff, so I feel like we're kind of just gonna maintain that for a while. I don't think it would need something like a new client for things to, like, blow up again. That's where I'd like it to go. I'd like a new client to come out for the online part of the game. I think that could be huge. Um, Otherwise, I mean, we'll see. I feel like it's not going to be get any more. It can't have any more of those like that huge growth spurt that we had like 4 or 5 years ago now. Um,
Okay.
when Pokemon Go came out and then the new regional system came out, bunch of prize money behind it. There was a huge growth spike in the trading card game in the competitive scene. It would need something like a new client release or something to like have another of those bursts. Otherwise, I don't think it'll like blow up anytime. But it'll probably maintain. I would like it to maintain for as long as it possibly can because I enjoy competing in the in the Pokemon events.
Yeah, just like for your what you're talking about, just think about everybody. Magic Online to Magic Arena and how much that brought in
Yeah.
to like new players. Like you said, if they release this new client, they can, these strategy streamers can, they're just gonna expose Pokemon to a wider, like a way bigger audience, just kind of
Yeah.
like what Magic Arena did for the Magic game.
Yeah, because like I think Show, who was a Hearthstone streamer, one of the biggest Hearthstone streamers, he just streams Magic now. I'm pretty sure. He just streams the arena. I don't know what specifically he streams. I used to watch him a ton when he streamed Hearthstone, but he doesn't. I think he just streams Magic now. So it'd be like the same thing. Like you'd have people who just all of a sudden just start streaming Pokemon.
Yeah.
And some of these big streamers, who knows if they probably won't stay around forever, but they don't need to, right? They just need to be there with their 20,000 viewers for the first couple weeks, and then that gives so much growth to the game, so much exposure to the game. That'd be really cool to see, and I think there's like such a possibility for it that it feels like wasted potential is like the best way to put it. Like wasted potential from who's ever making the big decision is to not be like, well, what if we came up with a new, very good, shiny new client, advertise it correctly, pay some of these streamers to play the game, and
For sure. All right. Do you have anything coming up, Azul, that you want to share? Maybe just talk about your stream a bit, maybe your YouTube channel.
Nothing big coming up that I can think of. Yeah, I do make YouTube videos, and I do stream, or usually stream daily. Haven't been streaming daily because I've been sick the last week or so. But usually stream daily. Azul GG on Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, nothing big coming up. Just the same old daily videos, streams, or hopefully back to daily once I get a little bit better. Still a little bit sick on the mend, but I'm getting there.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Azul. I mean, I appreciate it, especially since you're not quite 100%, but, your answers are great. I know your fans and the Pokemon community will enjoy hearing what you had to say today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Well, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you have not already done so, and take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next video.